Police officers ambushed in their car in Los Angeles. Bad news unless you're a BLM Antifa member, in which case you are cheering. 2 Los Angeles police officers were ambushed in their car, just sitting there, when a suspect in a hoodie snuck up, pointed his gun into their car, and shot them both in the head. Here's a still image photo that YouTube will allow me to use. Suspect gets away. The LA County Sheriff's Office has tweeted out a request that BLM, Antifa members, Black Lives Matter, whoever the hell they were, who are outside the hospital reportedly yelling, "We hope they die."
We hope that bitch yeah, it's gonna be more.
That they move so that they didn't block the emergency entrance so that ambulances could get in with other people. The officers are currently battling for their lives and in surgery. But the good news is, I absolutely know who's responsible for this heinous act. Nay, not the individual who went up and shot the police cowardly and then ran away. No, I'm talking about the people that sow the seeds of hatred, that make such a decision, such an act, a possibility. Meet Chanel Helm of Black Lives Matter Louisville. This little video segment is in reference to Rand Paul and his wife being surrounded by BLM outside of the Republican National Congress. And they were tweeting at him. They were yelling at him to say her name in reference to Breonna Taylor.
Probably did fear for his life. That's not my concern. My concern is the lives that I have to protect every day. My children, my black children, my black mother, my black grandmother, and my black self.
The irony is lost on these idiots that they're trying to kill the person who's actually trying to get rid of no-knock raids.
The arrogancy of his comments that he made this morning about don't these idiots know that I am the author of the Breonna Taylor law. If he thought that people would be on his side because he dropped one piece of legislation, then he's sadly mistaken.
The graciousness of this individual cannot be overstated. The fact that she is able to recognize that Rand Paul
was in fear for his life.
The fact that he might have authored the legislation in question that would end no-knock warrants that were partly responsible for Breonna Taylor's life ending is no excuse for who he is, which is a white Trump supporter, because that is the basic premise, that if you are white, according to these people, you are obviously evil. And the threat that faces the black man in her neighborhood every day far overrides this specific incident. No, actually, it really doesn't, because police are not indiscriminately killing black people. Look, just a few things first. Let's take a look at some stats. Blacks are overwhelmingly responsible for the murders in the inner city. Blacks make up 13% of the population and commit 52% of the murders. That's slightly disproportionate, I would say, by, say, a factor of 4. I would say. This is according to the FBI statistics. Before you call me racist, all I'm doing is stating facts. To quote Ben Shapiro, facts don't care about your feelings. You see, if you were to tell me that you want help because you want peace in your community between the young adult black males who are disproportionately committing these crimes, because it's not the black women that are in general, it's almost always young adult black men, then you'd have my support. But you trying to catastrophize a specific police incident that has some nuance to it, whereas in this case, the attack on the LAPD has no nuance. There is no excuse. The guy snuck up and shot. Imagine if that was reversed. Imagine if that was reversed. And you don't think that people are going to get angry at this? Do you think that it helps your cause when Black Lives Matter activists don't decry this, when they stand in...
Keep killing, y'all gonna die too. Yeah, you think that you can murder motherfucking black people? Fuck the police.
That does not endear your cause to society at large. In fact, we are revolted by it. You see, originally, Black Lives Matter managed to pull the wool over the eyes of society because they had a catchy little slogan that masked the fact that they were in fact an evil Marxist organization that was out to raise money for themselves and really doesn't care about black lives, because it's only selective black lives that they care about, those that are shot by the police, despite the fact that you are infinitely more likely to die at the hands of another black man if you are black than you are of the police. This does not top their list. You see, if I'm dealing with something and I have 1 in a million chance of being killed by lightning and a 1 in 100 chance of being killed by the various poisonous snakes in my neighborhood, I think I'm going to concentrate on the poisonous snakes first. But you guys are going to decry the lightning. What is moral outrage is the fact that you guys are reporting so inaccurately, because in each and every single police incident, including the Jacob Blake one, where he was resisting arrest, the original narrative that goes out is a false premise. It's false. He was resisting arrest. They tried to tase him. He was accused of rape. Whether or not he's been convicted, that remains to be seen. Not the nicest guy, in addition to the fact that in the past he held bar patrons at gunpoint over a disagreement. This is St. Jacob Blake of Kenosha, who managed to raise $2 million on GoFundMe. Look, what happened in Los Angeles is a disgrace. It is horrific, and we have to do something about it as a society, because this cannot keep happening. You are dividing us. You are creating a huge chasm. And those people that go out and yell, "We hope they die, we hope they die," blocking the emergency room entrance to the hospital, these are the evil people. This is not the police. These are people that want to go home to their families. This is a cold-blooded attempt at murder, possibly a murder, depending on whether they pull through in surgery, despite the fact that they are likely going to be brain dead with massive loss of their years and their abilities. But nobody cares about the police. But we are raising $2 million for criminal Jacob Blake. I don't know. I'm throwing up my hands in the air because I think it's absolutely disgusting, and I blame the mainstream media. I blame the narrative. I blame the victimhood and telling people false facts that Roland Fryer of Harvard did not come up with. Because as I stated, Roland Fryer came up with the fact that blacks are disproportionately shot less than the cops, whereas whites are disproportionately shot more, and that officers in question, even in the egregious situations where they are shot at first, they're more likely to shoot if the suspect is white. So your narrative is false, and this is what it leads to. This is the evil and the malfeasance of the media, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and it's dividing our country, and we need some healing. And I realize that by railing on it, I'm not going to help necessarily heal it, but at least I'll bring it to the attention of some people out there that are going to reconsider whether or not they support Black Lives Matter, Antifa, whether they or not they believe the mainstream news narrative from CNN, MSNBC, The Washington Post, The Atlantic. I'm saddened by this. I'm truly, truly saddened. Let's take a turn for the better.